Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Whitfield. I am an Arkansan, a former candidate for the United States Senate, and still very passionate about politics. So I feel it's my job tonight to educate you guys a little bit on the candidates that you'll be seeing on your ballots, as well as the ballot issues. This is going to be an extremely important election. Let's just start off by saying, unfortunately, at this point, I personally believe, and everything I'm about to say is all my opinion, my personal beliefs. But I personally believe that we're unfortunately going to see a Republican sweep on our state. The Democratic Party of Arkansas, unfortunately, was unable to secure many candidates this year again. So around 70% of Republicans are running unopposed, and 85% of the elected seats were already predetermined back in the Republican primary. So that being said, take everything I say as my opinion. I will never, ever tell you who to vote for. I never asked you all to ever vote for me, and I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I just want you to be educated about the different candidates, about the different ballot issues, and make up your own mind and decide what is going to be best for you and your family. All right, so I have a fun presentation today. I'm going to be sharing my screen here in just a minute. We are going to go through, what's up, honey? Dark? Oh, that's fine. It'll be all right. We're going to go through first the candidates that are running for statewide office. We are going to, after that, go through the ballot measures. And then there's something else I want to talk about that's really important. It has to do with the 1776 pack and school election boards in Arkansas. And I have some documentation I want to share with you all so that you can kind of understand a little bit more about who's running in your local school boards, how to research those people, and how to determine whether or not the person that you're going to be voting for in this nonpartisan school board election, and just kind of get their beliefs. But you have to do your own research, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to make it easy for you. So that all being said, I am streaming right now on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm going to be answering as many questions as I can throughout. So if you have a question, feel free to ask, and I'll answer as soon as I see it. And let's just go ahead and dive down into it. I don't want to take too much of y'all's time this evening, but we have a lot of important things to go over. All right, let's go ahead and switch this over here. Ballotpedia is a great resource. As a candidate, they had reached out to me and I was able to fill out like the different candidate surveys that they have. I've been paying attention to this platform and they have a lot of really good information, a lot of information that is not usually easy to find, but it is a nonpartisan platform. So whether you are a Republican and independent or a Democrat or a Libertarian or a Green Party member, this will not be biased in any direction. So I think it's a really great resource to use and a great resource for people to know about because not everybody knows about this resource. All right, so I wasn't exactly sure how I'm going to start with this. I guess we'll just start with federal candidates, and then we'll go from federal candidates to our statewide candidates. And I wanted to start with the four different districts of Arkansas, our 4 House members. So let's look right now. Currently, we are at 2 Republican U.S. senators, 4 Republicans representing us in the House. So District 1, this is going to be between the incumbent Rick Crawford, who is a Republican, and Monty Hodges. So let's go over here real quick. We'll click on Rick Crawford first, and I am just going to click on his official website. And let's check out his website and see what this dude has to offer. So it pops up right away. Welcome to the website of Congressman Rick Crawford. All right. So I'm a little confused because he is using an official public-funded web page to campaign on. So that's really interesting. And it just has a little bit of his little blogs and things like that. We can go to the issues, key issues, agriculture and trade, public safety, rural America, on September inflation report. Oh man, the U.S. Okay, so on. Votes against latest spending spree. So you can tell he's very conservative and he's very anti the current presidential administration. Concerns about Amtrak's non-profitability. Okay. Response to the latest bad news about the Biden economy. All right. I've been noticing, I've watched most of the debates, and I see a lot of the Republican congressmen that we currently have really trying to hit on economics and inflation. But unfortunately, I didn't really see many Democrats really hit home in the counter argument to the current inflation. One candidate kind of skated around it a little bit, but the fact is, the inflation really is a result of multiple things. It has nothing to do with a singular person like President Joe Biden. It has to do with many things. And we can go all the way back to 2017 with the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, where we actually put $3.2 trillion into corporations and billionaires' pockets. And they used that $3.2 trillion to perform the largest stock buyback in history. So they basically took their stock prices, threw artificial money into it, and inflated their prices, which basically, as a result of that, it increased the value without increasing the actual value of their stock. So that's a big problem. Then we can look back into March of 2020 when the CARES Act had come out. We had a lot of money from the CARES Act go into corporate pockets, and we can look a little bit past that. I think it was about 2 months after. We actually injected $6.2 trillion into Wall Street. $6.2 trillion. So between the Republicans' 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and the money injected into Wall Street, we're looking at nearly $10 trillion that was artificially put into the stock market. That was a huge step for inflation. I don't understand why people aren't talking about that more, but when you artificially inflate the prices of a good without actually increasing the good, then that's a big problem. So I'm not really seeing much on here, just a few different issues and stuff. I mean, he's actually got quite an extensive website because, again, he is using crawford.house.gov. He's using a government website to do this, and I'm pretty sure he's using government funds to pay the person to manage his website. I'm not sure the legality of that, but it is what it is. All right. So that is Rick Crawford. There's really not a whole lot more to say about him. So we will move on to the next one. We have Monty Hodges, who is the Democrat running against Rick Crawford in District 1. So if we come to Monty Hodges, let's go ahead and go into his official website here as well. All right. Oh no, Monty Hodges, you did the same thing. All right. So ArkansasHouse.org, District 55. Looks like Monty Hodges is also using a taxpayer-funded website. Oh, actually, you know what? Committees, programs. He doesn't even have a website. Oh, no. Is it worse to use taxpayer money to build a website or to not have a website at all? I can't really answer that question. That will be for you to decide. But unfortunately, I can't see much more about Monty Hodges. We can go in here. Committee assignments, House Insurance and Commerce Committee, House Revenue and Taxation Committee, Joint Budget. So he's done a bunch of different things for our state legislative body. He's been in our legislative body, it looks like, since 2013. So he's been a state legislator for about 9 years now. Now, he has some bills sponsored by him, an act for the Department of Education Act to make an appropriation for the teacher pay sustainability program for the Department of Education. Basically, he's trying to put money in teachers' pockets. So he sounds like a good guy. And I think it's very clear, or if you don't already know, I'll make it very clear to you. I never, ever, ever vote for a candidate for 2 reasons. I will never vote for a candidate based on their political party. I just won't do it. I have more integrity than that, and I hope you don't either. It is your job as an American citizen to research your candidates and vote for the candidate that you feel best represents your family, someone that you want representing you. Most of the time, if you're in one party or the other, it's probably the candidate running in that party. But again, don't vote for a party, vote for the candidate. And I will never vote for a candidate because, well, vote for me because my opponent's bad. I won't do that either. I don't vote for someone just to vote against someone else. I do my research, which I'm trying to teach you how to do right now in case you don't know. That way you can do research for yourself and decide who you want to vote for based on that person, who they are, what they believe in, and if you feel that their beliefs closely align with your own. Okay. So yeah, he's been trying to, get teacher pay done. But let's see, modify the state contribution to the state and public school life. So he's really pushing for education, good stuff. To provide for legislative oversight, regulate the state and public school life and health insurance program. Okay, more school things. Wow, he's been doing a lot of stuff with school, which is great. I mean, we definitely don't have enough people fighting for our students, our children, and our teachers. So that's good. Recycling equipment. So he seems like a solid Democrat. Waste reduction. An act creating a sentence enhancement for certain offenses committed against a person due to the person's attributes. I think that's going to be like, helping with anti-LGBTQ plus discrimination and things like that. So good stuff. An act for Department of Parks. And this only goes back, it looks like, until October 15th on here. So, he seems pretty solid. If I was living in District 1, I would probably vote for Monty Hodges. So let's go ahead and move through. Like I said, I'm going to try not to keep you all too late. Let's go into District 2. So District 2, we have French Hill, Quintessa Hathaway, and Michael White. I'm not going to talk about many libertarians just because libertarians have zero chance of winning. That's just a systemic problem where we have a two-party system. And until we have three things, federally funded elections, ranked choice voting, and maybe repealing the fairness or getting the fairness doctrine back so that people can have actual time in front of their possible future constituents, third parties just aren't going to be able to win. But so I will go into this libertarian. I watched this debate. I thought the libertarian in this debate did a really good job. French Hill didn't really impress me at all in this debate. Quintessa Hathaway didn't really impress me at all in this debate, but Michael White actually did. He's a little bit more conservative than I would like, but we will take a look at him despite him being a little more conservative than I like. All right, we got French Hill. Let's do, here we go, campaign website. I might have clicked on those other guys' official websites. All right, French Hill, the conservative champion, the choice for Arkansas. Conservative champion, big red flag for me because I'm not a conservative, and I think conservative values are what started really the decimation of the middle class. Real quick, let me plug this book. There is a book. It's called Invisible Hands. It was written by Kim Phillips Fine, and the book is about the rise of conservatism in the United States of America from the 1920s until Reaganism. And it talks about a lot of the corporations, the billionaires, at the time millionaires, who were actually working behind the scenes to help get conservative politicians elected in order to do specific things like cutting taxes for them, creating tax evasion loopholes for them, union busting and things like that. So Invisible Hands, Kim Phillips Fine. I'm pro-life, I'm pro-Second Amendment, pro-Arkansas, pro-American, pro-strong economy. Unfortunately, in Arkansas, a lot of time, that's all it takes to win an election. I'm pro-gun, pro-choice, vote for me, or pro-life, pro-gun, vote for me. So let's go ahead, man. I hate to click this issues, but let's do it. Jobs, taxes, government spending, homeland security, inflation, serving our veterans, pandemic response, protecting America. Let's see what protecting America is. Terrorist finance, Sir ranking member of the House Financial Service Subcommittee. Let me blow this up a little bit for you guys. Syria. I worked to hold the Assad regime accountable for the ongoing civil war in Syria. All right. So he's got a lot of foreign involvement that he wants to be part of here. That could have to do because he takes money from the military-industrial complex, but I'll leave that to you to consider and make your own decision. All right, let's click one that's going to be really, COVID-19 spending caused America to have largest government debt to GDP ratio since the end of World War II. Yeah, that's nobody's fault. Pandemic saw our debt jump by $7 trillion. Okay. Oh, a national debt that will only increase as the latest Biden budget asks for more than $1 trillion in annual deficits for the next 10 years. The irresponsible spending will impact our economy and our country for years to come. All right. So for more than 1 trillion annual deficits for the next 10 years. So he's talking about $10 trillion over 10 years. But what he doesn't talk about is how he voted to put nearly $10 trillion into corporations and billionaires just in the last 5 years. Okay. So yeah, I'm kind of done with this guy. I don't know if I can stomach much more of him right now. Next, we have Dr. Quintessa Hathaway. We've got campaign website. All right. Oh, I kind of like the design of this, how it like goes in and out. That's pretty cool. Let me blow you up a little bit. Subscribe. Okay. Meet, platform, media, get involved, top priorities, events. Let's go onward. Capitol Rally, Capitol View, Black Caucus meeting, and wow, so she only has 4 events in here, and that goes all the way back September 9th, 2021. So in more than a year, she only listed 4 events on her website. That's not good. All right, let's go to platform. All right, women's rights, humans' rights, healthcare, redistricting and gerrymandering, urban America, rural America, equality and LGBTQ plus, poverty, criminal justice, jobs and wages, national security, Second Amendment. Oh, what'd she say about the Second Amendment? Oh, wait a sec. I gotta click, and then I gotta click go to link. Okay. Oh, wait, why did it take me to infrastructure? I clicked Second Amendment. Uh-oh, Dr. Hathaway. Your website's not working, Doctor. Second Amendment, go to link. There we go. All right. So America has a strong constitutional heritage rooted in the usage and possession of private firearms. With the right comes great responsibility to our families, friends, colleagues, communities, and global neighbors. If I'm talking fast, like I said, I've got a lot to get through and I don't want to keep you all too late. Addressing the Second Amendment onward, forward, upward, and outward. Eliminate the manufacturing, selling, and distribution of large capacity magazines. I would like to know the specific number, what is considered a large capacity magazine. Families, community leaders, and mentors train and teach youth about sensible firearm usage, safety, and hunting techniques. I like that. I think that firearm safety should be taught in schools, similar to sex education. Law enforcement agencies conduct anti-terrorism awareness training with local leaders in school districts. I think they already do that. Promote Citizens Police Academy at the local level. I think they already do that. Mandate a commission to conduct a longitudinal study of the impact of gun violence on Black, Indigenous, and other minority and poor communities, as well as follow their recommendations. Close the boyfriend loophole. Broaden the definition of intimate partners to casual daters and anyone with a domestic violence conviction. A casual dater. I'm all down with that until you add casual daters, just because I'm not sure exactly what that means. Eliminate the usage of military-grade weaponry by local police. Yes. Construct and implement national and international educational curriculums. Promote peace, inclusivity, diversity, and tolerance. Yes, I agree. But man, this is definitely not Second Amendment stuff. Hostile areas, funding programs, comprehensive services, individuals, victims of violence, trauma, sexual exploitation. Great. Provide subsidized medical costs to low wealth victims of gun violence. That's cool. Healthcare for all wouldn't need something like that. Formulate committee to implement a peace plan at the state and local levels. I'm not sure what a peace plan is. Instill school or in district-based conflict resolution programs. Build a grassroots, regional, and national movement and lobbying effort. So it looks like the only actual, real major thing that she's going to have on here. Eliminate manufacturing, selling, distribution of large capacity magazines. I want to know what that is. A good example would be like, I've had people threaten to kill me before, and I've had people threaten to kill my family because I was a pro-choice Democrat running in Arkansas. So I purchased firearms, and I have a firearm that I carry with me almost everywhere I go, and it has 16 rounds, a 15-round magazine plus one in the chamber. And in Arkansas, that's legal, but in some states it is illegal, such as California. I believe you can only have 8 rounds in a firearm, so an 8-round a single magazine. But I don't know. We'll have to see. And then restore and update the assault rifle ban. I would like to see the assault rifle definition updated, because it's just, what is an assault rifle, assault weapon? If we're talking about semi-automatic weapons, then I mean, what do you consider a semi-automatic weapon? A pistol? Are we going to ban pistols? Are we going to ban rifles? What are we going to ban? I mean, I can fire those 15 rounds in my pistol in about 2 seconds. And it's a semi-automatic. So it's really tough, and that's where it's a really hard debate when we start talking about assault rifle ban. But I think updating what the definition of an assault rifle is the great place to start, but it does not say that in here. So she has a few different things in here. Seems, like pretty much a government or a democratic platform on here. Healthcare, reduce the cost of prescription drugs. Awesome. Expand healthcare for those who have low income. That's called Medicaid. Individuals with disability, pregnant women, seniors, and children. Yeah, that's called Medicaid. Medicare. Invest in preventative medicine and wellness. Increase investment in medical research development. Awesome. Provide paid leave for those suffering from and quarantined during the pandemic. Provide paid leave for those suffering from and quarantined. Suffering from the pandemic. Okay, I don't know. I think I get what she's trying to say. So let's see. Create a registry of medical providers who are negligent and abusive to the most vulnerable in our society. I think that's a great idea. There should be a registry of doctors that malpractice and victimize their patients. Expand Medicaid, expand and enhance Affordable Care Act, protect reproductive rights and access to contraceptives, expand telehealth services, support unshackling and handcuffing incarcerated women during. Wow, I totally support that too. I don't think a woman should be handcuffed while giving birth. Expand access to high quality healthcare in rural communities. Okay, so I mean, she seems like, rubber stamp Democrat. So a safe bet if you are a Democrat and you want to vote for her. Let's go ahead. Before I move on actually to the next candidate, I have had a few experiences with Dr. Quintessa Hathaway personally. And again, these are my opinions. I just don't know if she's the kind of person that I would want representing me, if she would be much better than French Hill. She may vote on things differently, but as a human being and a person, I mean, I was at an event and I gave a speech, and then she gave a speech, and then a bunch of people gave speeches, and my wife liked her eyelashes because she has like really long eyelashes. And she's like, Dr. Quintessa, can I have a picture with you? And she told my wife no. Why would she refuse to have a picture with my wife? Whether or not whatever she thinks about me. So I was really disappointed in that. All right, but I just thought I would share that personal experience and encounter that I had with Dr. Hathaway. Let's go to Michael White next. He is a libertarian running. Nothing really on here. Let's go to his campaign website. All right. So, first thing, donate online freedom store on the issues. Find me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. I hate when people put donate as the very first thing on their website. So let's go ahead and click his issues. Less taxes, less government, more freedom. Oh, he's really conservative for me. Again, I think he did a great job on the debate. So ending the failed war on drugs, southern border and immigration. Not a big fan of the way he feels about immigration, fair immigration reform. All right, so you should pay to enter and pay to stay. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Build the wall around welfare. I'm not sure what he means, build the wall around welfare. We create a moral hazard when we promote. Oh yeah, because he doesn't like any welfare at all. Oh my gosh, he's really conservative. I don't think I could vote for this guy. But he does have actually some good ideas. I would say he was the most intelligent person on that debate stage. So, federal legislation for for-profit prisons, that's awesome. Repealing mandatory sentencing, awesome. Bail reform, nonviolent offender releases. There's so many good things, but there's so many bad things. It's a really tough choice for y'all to make. Again, he has zero chance of winning. Dr. Hathaway has zero chance of winning. I mean, French Hill's kind of got that one in the bag, but it's still good to look into these candidates. But I mean, he wants to do away with Medicare and Medicaid. One thing I do like about him is he had mentioned liquid sodium reactors, thorium nuclear reactors, which is an amazing technology that I think not enough people are talking about or even know about. And the only reason that we use uranium in our nuclear reactors instead of thorium, which is about 96% more efficient, it's insanely safe. You can't have a meltdown in a thorium reactor. You just literally you pull out the fuel and the reaction stops. But the reason we don't do it is because the waste created by uranium reactors is then weaponized and turned into nuclear weapons for the military industrial complex, which we have spent over $6 trillion just on nuclear weapons since World War II. So it's really tough to get anyone in our government that takes money from the military industrial complex to really want to talk about converting to a safer, more efficient form of power that would take money away from their donors. So, yeah, this dude's pretty conservative. I think he's a smart guy, doesn't share the same values of me. In District 2, I have no idea who I would vote for. You'll have the Republican incumbent, the Democrat or the Libertarian. It's going to be up to you who you want to vote for. I don't think I would vote for any of these three people, and French Hill's got it in the bag, so it doesn't really matter anyways. Moving on to District 3. All right, District 3, we have Steve Womack. He's the incumbent Republican. Democrat is Lauren Mallett Hayes, and the Libertarian is Michael Kalagius. I watched that debate also. And I think, honestly, Lauren Mallett Hayes and Michael Kalagius, they performed very well in their debate. Michael Kalagius, he's a very intelligent man. Again, libertarian. We don't have a lot of the same views. I've, spoken with a lot of libertarians. I actually went to the Libertarian Nomination Convention back in 2020 and met a bunch of the different candidates that they have in their leadership, and they're all good people. We just have different views. They believe that our government is corrupt. I agree. Our government's corrupt. They're completely 100% right. They think the solution to a corrupt government is to make it as small as possible until there's no government left so that it can't be corrupt. I don't think that's the solution. I think the solution is to get the corruption out of the government. But that's just a fundamental difference between myself and the libertarian belief. Steve Womack. All right. So I live in 3rd District. This is my race that I get to vote on. Let's see if this will load. Oh my God, look at the dude's face. All right. We have campaign website. Oh, look at that. He looks serious. All right. Womack for Congress. Someone recently said that this is a Nazi emblem. I don't think it's a Nazi emblem. I don't think a Nazi designed it for him. I think that that's just the emblem we went with and just hyperbole. About Steve, donate, newsroom, and contacts. So, wow, he doesn't even have an issues page. Oh my gosh. Okay, about Steve, it's just this, 3 paragraphs. Oh my gosh. So we got home, we got Mr. Think, we've got about Steve, 3 paragraphs, and then we've got newsroom, 525, 22, 11. Oh my gosh. He's only got in the last 2 years, 2 things on here. Steve Womack is a really do-for-nothing congressman, unfortunately. I had researched him very thoroughly at one point several years ago, and he does just about nothing. He is basically a rubber-stamping Republican that doesn't care about his constituents, takes a freaking ton of money from special interests, and he is honestly no good for Arkansas. All right, next candidate, Lauren Mallett Hayes, Democrat, running. Let's see here. Campaign website. A voice for Arkansas. Why I'm running. My priorities. Donate. Honestly, again, I hate when the first thing I see on a website is a donation button. I think that's pathetic, in my opinion, as a former candidate. But she has it down here. It's not even on the actual first page. So, props to you for that, Lauren. Let's see here. And then join Team Lauren. So, I like our website. I actually think it's a pretty well-designed website. Let's go to the about real quick. Oh no, she does have a chip in at the top, doesn't she? I guess that's okay. It's small enough I didn't even notice it at first, so we'll let that slide. Oh, she got a picture of her awesome family on there. Why I'm running. Meet Lauren. So pictures of her family, and she's got a good stock image for a campaign in Arkansas. Cool beans. Priorities. Hey, look, she actually has an issues tab. Yay. Healthcare, working in healthcare. I've seen the system close up and personal especially during COVID. I believe access to quality, affordable healthcare is a basic right as an American. However, our current system is not what I would classify as affordable, and it's not working when people, even those with health insurance, delay necessary medical treatment because deductibles are too high. They have no options for copays, or they have a pre-existing condition, and no one should have to choose between paying for healthcare or paying for other essentials such as groceries or rent. Unfortunately, okay, so I totally agree 100% with her. I think where a lot of Democrats drop the ball, though, is they're not properly educated in what a system like healthcare for all is. I mean, there are 38 modernized nations in the world. 37 of them have some kind of single payer healthcare system or universal healthcare system. And America's the only one that doesn't, because unfortunately we have a lot of cowards in Congress that take money from the health and pharmaceutical industry and in exchange vote against legislation like Medicare for all or healthcare for all, or a system that would finally put people before profits. I wish she would talk about Medicare for all, but I don't think she supports it. I'm pretty sure no federal candidate in Arkansas does support that platform except for myself. Education, awesome. Jobs, economic growth. And then Razorback Stadium, another good stock image for Northwest Arkansas. Wait, she's only got 3? No, Lauren. So many times when I was running for office, I would have people be like, you have too many issues on your issues page. Pick 3 issues, only talk about them and nothing else. You know what? That's an old way of politics because we have more than 3 problems in this world. I understand having a few issues to put at the top of the list and to talk about all the time, but you got to have other issues in there. A little disappointed there. And then she's got her store. Okay, so that is Lauren Mallett Hayes. She's the Democrat running. And last but not least, Michael Kalagius. Let's go in here. And I'll try to keep this one short. We're already at 7:30. Oh my gosh, time flies when you're having fun. He's libertarian. He does not have a campaign website. All right, so I'll just talk super briefly. I've met him several times now. He's a very smart man. We have fundamental differences in what we believe the federal government should be doing. And I don't agree with his views, and he doesn't agree with mine. And I appreciate his participation on my Facebook page. And, I do appreciate all of the different talks that we've had. Out of these 3 candidates, so again, a little personal story as I campaigned around. I did get people who were sending me screenshots of the Democrat Lauren Mallett Hayes posting in public groups and in private groups telling people that I'm really a Republican, that I'm an Assange apologist, and saying negative, nasty things about me. So I don't think my integrity, I would vote for her. Personally, I wouldn't. That's my opinion. Steve Womack is absolutely terrible, but like I said, I will not vote for someone based on their political party or because my opponent bad. So that's a tough one. I mean, it really doesn't matter anyways because Steve Womack's got this one in the bag as well. All right, moving on from District 3 to District 4. If you watch one debate in your life, you need a glass of wine, a beer, some popcorn. Watch this debate. Oh my gosh, it is one of the... You think it's funny watching Donald Trump and Joe Biden debate? Watch these guys. Oh my gosh. I'm not even gonna pull up their websites and stuff. Let's go through this. Bruce Westerman, big tool, super big tool, does nothing. Another rubber stamping Republican, like the other Republicans we have representing us, unfortunately, in Congress. I won't even go into him. There's nothing to go into. He is not a very intelligent man, did not impress me during the debate. I did not feel like he had our best interests at all at heart. I felt like he was just there to further his own political career. John White, Democrat running. He has a Trump 2024 sticker on the back window of his car. He doesn't believe January 6th was an insurrection. I had a couple conversations with him at different times, and the dude, I mean, I wouldn't vote for him. He's not a Democrat, just so you know. I was really disappointed that the Democratic Party of Arkansas couldn't get their stuff together to find a candidate for that district. And then because they were in debt and they needed money, they're like, okay, you can run as a Democrat, just give us your filing fee. So he paid the filing fee and they let him run as a pro-life, pro-Trump Democrat. All right, Gregory Maxwell, super nice guy. Dude is loony as can be. Oh, did he do their survey? He did. Passion to serve has been a driving force for success. It's never how many times you're knocked down, but how many times you get up. I'm still standing. I have run for local offices in Jefferson County at the state level, District 17. I was Constable Pine Bluff from 2010 to 2012. A big proponent for education, for educating the masses about those who are on the autism spectrum. Alive with Autism is an information page that my son and I work on. I love to write and observe. I have a creative side. My past includes working at FedEx and the Salvation Army in various positions. I'm a libertarian. I feel it is time to show America that the two-party system is on its last leg. Liberty on purpose. I mean, like I said, he's actually a nice guy. I've met him, but he is super funny. I just don't see him as somebody who has the mental capacity to represent, 100,000 people. I just don't see it, unfortunately. All right, but that's who we've got for our districts. I mean, in this district, I would leave my thing blank. I wouldn't even vote for anyone. That's my opinion, what I would do personally. You need to do your own research as well and decide who you would vote for. That's not where I'm here. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. I'm just here to tell you about the candidates. So these are our 4 House candidates. All right. Next federal position, let me see. We are at 35 minutes in, so we're making pretty good progress, actually. We should be able to get all this done here in not too much longer. All right. So the next federal position we have is the United States Senate. Unfortunately, y'all, I lost the primary in May. I worked my ass off. I did everything I could for you. I so greatly appreciate all of the donations that you guys sent me, all of the letters that I got in the mail, all the hopeful messages and phone calls. I mean, y'all are why I'm doing this. If it wasn't for you guys, I would have I'd be like, screw it. I'd have stopped after Tom Cotton and never even, considered running for office again. But, you guys are what keep me going strong. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, it was the only way I can really put it is it was bad luck. It was bad luck to be running against a female candidate with my primary 2 weeks after the overturning of Roe. I think a lot of people in the Democratic Party who were passionate enough, in order to vote in a Democratic primary in Arkansas, you have to be a passionate Democrat because a lot of the Democratic primary voters literally gave up the right to vote for anybody in their local election because they had no Democrats running locally. So, a lot of those passionate Democrats decided that they wanted to vote based on their hearts and emotion to make sure that women have rights over their autonomy. And I understand, but unfortunately, I lost that primary and Natalie James won the primary. She won, my own opinion, I think she won because she's a woman after the overturning of Roe, but that is what it is. Unfortunately now, as we're seeing through polling, she has no chance to win. And that short-sightedness of the majority of Democratic primary voters unfortunately cost us this seat that we very likely could have flipped. But moving forward, we're not done yet. All right. We got John Bozeman. Very, very brief through John Bozeman. They had a debate today I watched. All he did was his normal Republican talking points. He hasn't done anything for Arkansas. He's been an elected official for 27 years, but only an elected official that had any control over legislation for 20 years. And he has passed a few bills in the last couple months because election season comes around. He's like, you know what? I'm finally going to do my job after sitting in office for 18 years and only passing one bill. But, he is what he is. He is a rubber stamping Republican that takes tons of money from special interests and votes on legislation that benefits those interests while hurting us. Campaign website, proven conservative record. All right. So, of course, he starts with that, goes into this, donations at the bottom, the issues. Okay, he's got a few issues on here. Getting our economy back. I bet it's going to say Biden here somewhere. Oh, there we go, right here. First sentence, second paragraph. On Joe Biden's first day as president, he shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, signaling to Americans the radical policies and liberal priorities are most important. It's no surprise that decisions like these have resulted in higher fuel prices ever since. All right, real fast, we got to correct some of this BS. Number one, the Keystone XL pipeline, it was a replacement to a current pipeline. The current pipeline goes across the country like this, and the Keystone XL would have cut across diagonally through several states and a lot of indigenous land and a lot of federal land. And we decided that it was not safe enough to create this, build another pipeline when pipelines are leaking all the freaking time and it never gets reported on. It wasn't necessary. Now, the whole reason fuel prices are up are because Republicans, just like John Bozeman, were they weren't even begging the president. When Russia first invaded Ukraine, Tom Cotton, John Bozeman, a lot of these GOP puppets, they were all like, we're still buying oil from Russia and you're just funding Putin's war, blah, 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 blah. You need to stop buying that oil. And you know what? Finally, Biden says, you know what? You're right. We're funding Russia's war. We're buying Russian oil. We're going to stop that. So we stop buying Russian oil. And what happens? Oh, higher gas prices. Imagine that. It's like magic. No, it's not really magic. That's just the consequence of the action that we took. And it's a consequence that many people are willing to pay. Personally, I'll just stay out of that for now. It sucks that gas prices went up, but that's the decision that was made after the pressure from Republican politicians. And you know what happens the next day when prices go up? Here come the Republicans, the same exact ones. And they're like, gas prices are so high, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, you guys were the cause. All right, moving on past John Bozeman. After John Bozeman, we have Natalie James. Let's see here, campaign website. All right, so no, Natalie James, bad. I can't even look at the website without getting a help build this movement, donate money to me kind of thing. Like I said, I hate that. I think it's pathetic. Fighting for a stronger Arkansas, healthcare, education, living wages, meet Natalie, issues, chip in today. And then just a bunch of pictures of her in a t-shirt and stuff like that. Natalie, if you are going to run for one of the highest offices in the United States of America, don't wear ripped jeans and a t-shirt and sneakers to events, especially nice events. Anyways, all right. Meet Natalie. She's got this here, a few different things. Back up to the top, the issues. She's got 7 issues on here. Okay. We're not going to go into her issues. I'll just tell you that I've been in there. There's a lot of talk, but no how. And it's just not going to do anything, unfortunately. Search, volunteer. Oh, it looks like the search bar is broken on here. I mean, one of my biggest problems with this whole thing, I mean, look, I'll refresh. Oh, it didn't ask me to donate again. Nope, there it goes. Donate to me. She's fraudulently filing FEC filings. She was so far behind in her filings. We're not sure if she's pocketing money, but it's very likely at this point. I really wish the FEC would step in and do an investigation. But the fact that she went nearly a year without filing federally required financial disclosure forms while continuing to ask money this way was just a really big red flag to me. You know, another thing before I move off of her, I mean, earlier in a debate today, she accused Senator, well, in the past on Twitter and Facebook, social media, she has accused Senator John Bozeman of taking PPP loans. But what a lot of people don't understand was she was fraudulently taking out her own PPP loans. And this is all public information. You can find this. Just search, search Captivating Homes LLC. And you'll see, took out $7,700 on February 2021. That's interesting. Let's see here. 2021, removed her as the officer, and then became inactive on September 2021. Okay. Let's see. So this one, there's another, a couple more loans, about 20,000 for Miss Real Estate. The loans March 2021 and May of 2020. So we've got 2019 edition of her as officer, became inactive. Oh, just a couple months after she took the loan out. Wait a second. March 2021. It was inactive. Her LLC was inactive when she took a loan out. And then it went to revoked. That's interesting. So wait, oh, she got 2 LLCs, February 2021. March, she took out 2 loans at the same time with 2 companies. Anyways, she shouldn't be accusing anyone else of taking PPP money legally when she was taking it illegally. All right, moving on. We do have a libertarian in that race as well, Kenneth Cates. I'm just going to say he's extremely conservative. He's very anti-government. Watching his performance in the debate today, I don't think I could ever vote for somebody like him. So that's tough. You know, this is going to be your decision. However you want to vote, vote however you feel. Unfortunately, John Bozeman has got this one in the bag. It doesn't matter. You can vote for Kenneth or Natalie. It doesn't matter. John Bozeman's going to win. And I mean, when we look at polling numbers, let's see here. If the election for the U.S. Senate were held today, which of the following candidates would you vote for? 52% said John Bozeman and 32% said Natalie James. So it's about a 20-point spread. And while we're here, if the race for governor were being held today, which of the following candidates would you vote for? Sarah Huckabee Sanders is only at 51%, with Chris Jones floating around 41%. I don't know. There could be an upset there. I mean, it's not super likely, but I think it could happen. I think, unfortunately, if, you know, Dr. Jones had a stronger ticket behind him, and if he wasn't the only one out there really campaigning super hard, that they could have had a good chance to flip this state blue all the way in 2022. So, like I said, I'm not sure how I'm going to vote on this one. I'll probably leave it blank personally. That's my opinion, how I'm going to vote. I'll never, ever tell you how to vote. If you're a Democrat and want to vote for a Democrat because they're a Democrat, go for it. If you're a Republican and you want to vote for a Republican because they're a Republican, go for it. But nothing's really going to change. This tool is going to stay in office, unfortunately. All right. We're about 45 minutes in. We're just getting to the good stuff, too. All right. I'm not going to go in detail as much for these state positions. I just really wanted to go into the federal positions really detailed, show their websites, do things like that. For governor, we have Dr. Chris Jones running as a Democrat, Sarah Huckabee Sanders running as a Republican, Ricky Dale Harrington Jr. running as a Libertarian, and there are some write-in candidates like Elvis Presley who files every year. All right, let's start with Dr. Chris Jones. I mean, I've met him a bunch of times. He's a really nice man. All of the slandering that was going on about me from Democratic candidates, he never partook in it. I never had any complaints against Dr. Chris Jones. Very nice man, always treated me with respect. And I, mutually treated him with respect. There were some questions early on about the way that he was receiving financial contributions that were questionable. But it was looked into, and they determined that they weren't questionable, I guess. Well, I mean, I guess if you take a $20,000 donation from a person, it's okay. And you don't have to return it. I don't know. But anyways, like I said, he's a nice man. I don't think he did it on purpose, and I know he paid like $1 million to consulting firms, so they're probably handling all that for him. He is a Democrat that believes in spreading PB&J across the state, peanut butter jobs, or not peanut butter, preschool jobs, preschool, broadband and jobs. There we go. And, I think he's really got Arkansans' families in his heart. And I think we would be really, really lucky to have a man like Dr. Jones as our next governor. The next person on here, we've got Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I can't stand her. I think she's a terrible human being. I'm being super honest, man. No filter tonight, y'all. She's always like the radical left, this and that, talks about Republican talking points. She was a professional liar. She has a degree from a Baptist university. I mean, she really is the heart and soul of everything that is dividing our country. God, I'm so terrified of her being our next governor, y'all. Go vote. Bring your spouse to vote. If your children are old enough, bring your children, bring your neighbor, bring your family, bring anyone who's registered to vote and make sure they do, however they want to vote. But man, this new generation of leadership she's talking about here is basically a new generation of authoritarian leadership in Arkansas. And she doesn't even care about Arkansas. She's made it very clear. All she cares about is becoming president one day. This is a stepping stone for her. Her heart is not in Arkansas. So be very aware of that. Um, Lastly, moving through governor, we have Ricky Dale Harrington Jr. I've met him several times. He's a very nice man. He was a former Democrat turned libertarian. We share a lot of the same views, but again, he thinks a smaller government is the solution. I think getting corruption out of the government is the solution. You know, if the Democratic Party didn't have Dr. Jones running, if they had some mediocre Democrat like they do for most of their other positions running, I would probably vote for Ricky Harrington, but I really like Dr. Chris Jones, and I think he would be great for our state. So I'm going to be voting for Dr. Chris Jones, and y'all can vote for whoever you want. Moving past that, Lieutenant Governor, we've got Kelly Kraut as a Democrat, Leslie Rutledge as a Republican, and Frank Gilbert as a Libertarian. I'm going to start with Frank Gilbert. He's an oath keeper. He was asked in the last debate if he's proud to be an oath keeper, and he said, yes, I am. And he wants to stay an oath keeper, and he doesn't think that there was an insurrection in January or any of these different things, and he's super anti-government. I would never vote for Frank Gilbert. Leslie Rutledge, she is probably one of the most evil people in our state. She is the devil reincarnate, if you would dare say that. She is part of the reason that Tom Cotton ran unopposed in 2020. She has spent millions of your dollars and my tax dollars on campaign advertisements. And when that was brought in front of the Arkansas Ethics Committee, the Arkansas Ethics Committee consists of 5 people. All 5 of them were appointed by a GOP member: the governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, President Bro, the head of the Senate, and the House Majority Leader as well. So all of these 5 people put into the Arkansas Ethics Committee, they're all GOP. So they let her go. So they're, oh yeah, she can spend millions of dollars on campaign ads. That's cool. You should stop doing it now. You know, don't do it anymore. But it's cool that you did it in the past. Really don't like this person. Watching her in the debate, I didn't realize how unintelligent she was, but she's a very unintelligent person as well. Man, what an ice queen. Moving on. Whew. Kelly Kraut. Kelly Kraut is a Democrat running for lieutenant governor in the state of Arkansas. I've met her several times. My personal experience, she wasn't very nice to me. She'd be like, hi. When she, one time she didn't want to shake my hand. She's part of the group of Democrats that were talking about me behind my back. At first, you know, she was like, you know, I'm qualified to be lieutenant governor because I'm a foster mom and have 7 kids. You know, if everybody does a little, nobody has to do a lot. It's a great saying. I get it. I really wasn't going to vote for her. During her performance in the last debate, I really think she could do a good job as lieutenant governor, honestly, with my heart. I mean, she's not someone, like I said, I really am going to have a hard time voting for anybody who was bad-mouthing me and spreading lies and rumors. But you know, I was really impressed with the way she performed in the debate. So moving past this one, I'm probably going to vote for Kelly Kraut. And I know a lot of people who will probably vote for her as well. Unfortunately, the polling is just showing Leslie Rutledge has got this in the bag, and we're screwed. I guess that's just a very kind way to put it. Kind of screwed, y'all. It's going to suck the next couple years. All right. Moving on past there, we've got Attorney General. So it looks like an independent. And then Jesse Gibson is running as a Democrat. Tim Griffin is running as a Republican. He's our current lieutenant governor. I watched that debate. Jesse Gibson, he played really reserved in the debate, but he showed something very important. He showed how intelligent he is. He is a very smart man. He knows exactly what he is doing. He is the most qualified person for this position. He's got 20 years experience in law. I've met him several times. He's a very nice man. He was always very respectful to me. I don't think his wife liked me very much. I think she's like in that little social group as the other Democrats. But he was always very kind and respectful to me, and I, in return, of course, to him. Tim Griffin is a freaking lunatic. The dude is nuts, y'all. I went to several different nonpartisan, unlike some other Democrat who was running for U.S. Senate, I went to bipartisan events. I didn't just go to Democratic County Party meetings. I went to those as well, every single one of them, more than once. But I was going to Republican, Democratic, and independent events. I was talking to everybody. And every time that Tim Griffin, he never showed up, by the way. He was never actually there at a candidate forum. He had someone speak for him, and they would read his little statement. And when they read his little statement, it was the most crazy, like, propaganda I've ever heard. So much hate, so much like anti-Democrat, anti-liberal, anti-left, anti-Biden, anti-everything but the super far right extreme conservatives. The dude is nuts. Very, very scary gentleman. But you know what? He's got this one in the bag. I mean, this poll right here, it's got him at 57%. Oh my gosh. With 12% undecided, even if Jesse Gibson got every single one of those undecided, he would still lose. So that's not good, y'all. It's going to be really scary these next couple years here in Arkansas. I'm going to vote for Jesse Gibson very proudly. I'll be very, very proud to cast my vote for Jesse Gibson on November the 8th. Moving on through here, we've got Secretary of State. We've got John Thurston as the incumbent Republican, and we've got Annabeth Gorman as the Democrat. So, start with John Thurston. He's another one of those rubber stamping Republicans. He's part of the reason that I was kept from getting on the ballot in 2020. He is probably, I would say, one of the worst qualified people for the job that he's in. In 2020, there were ballot measures that had signatures to be on the ballot. He ripped them suckers right off the ballot. He's like, oh no, we can't have these on the ballot, and just pulled them straight off. Did the same thing again in 2022 with another citizen-led ballot initiative that had over 100,000, well over 100,000 votes. He's like, no, can't have this on the ballot. Pulled that right off, got sued, and fortunately, Arkansas Supreme Court put it back on the ballot. And we'll talk about that issue, whether it's good or bad, in a minute. But the fact is, he took a citizen-led initiative off the ballot with his supreme authority as Secretary of State. Annabeth Gorman, she is the Democrat running. Personally, I liked Josh Price. I know he was one of those guys that were kind of spreading rumors behind my back, but he did put in a lot of good work. I was probably I'd say I was one of the candidates in Arkansas, the Democrats, that went to the most places and was the busiest getting out there. And I saw him a lot. So he was always out there. But seemed like a really good person, was always respectful to me, even, when he was doing things behind my back. But that's all right. Annabeth beat him in the primary. I don't know much about Annabeth. I've met her, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 times. Very, very nice lady. She has the cutest little girl. Oh my gosh. Just reminds me of my little Caitlin when she was tiny. And, she seems like a really good person. I just don't know enough about her. I mean, I know she was like in the Girl Scouts for most of her life, and now she's a professional Girl Scout. But I don't know anything else. But regardless, John Thurston, again, has this one in the bag. I'll probably vote for Annabeth Gorman. She'll probably be the person that I vote for. But, man, this tool right here is going to win that one. Treasurer. We've got Pam Whitaker running in the Democratic Party and Mark Lowry running in the Republican Party. So I think this is very interesting because let's talk real quick about Mark Lowry. He is a state legislator. He doesn't have any financial experience at all, and he's running to be, how much time we got left? 39 minutes, okay. He's running to be the state treasurer, and the dude has no financial experience. I mean, he's just, I was in the state legislative body for a long time, so now I'm going to move up and I'm going to be a treasurer. And then, hey, maybe one day I'm going to run for lieutenant governor and president and so on. But yeah, very unqualified person. By the way, he's passed some terrible legislation. I don't remember if it was anti-trans. He did something that was really terrible. So not a very good person. Pam Whitaker, I met her a few times. Very, very nice lady. She has a lot of experience in the financial industry. I think she actually worked for the IRS for a time. She's well qualified for the position. She's a good person, I feel, in my heart, and I'm a pretty decent judge of character. I'll be very proud to vote for Pam Whitaker for our state treasurer. Auditor. Man, I don't know much about these auditors at all. Except I know Dennis Milligan again. He's like one of those, I'm a state legislator and I'm going to use this as a stepping stone to move up in the state and continue my political career, even though I have no financial experience. All right. So that's kind of just who he is. Not much different than Mark Lowry. Diamond Arnold Johnson, I don't know if she has any financial experience. I heard her talk one time, was not impressed at all. I think she only did it because the Democratic Party couldn't find anybody to run for that position. So she's like, all right, I'll do it. Let's go. And she did it. So I don't know who I'll vote for in this one. I'm pretty sure this, just the trend that we're going to be looking at is all the Republicans are going to win. Chris Jones might be the only Democrat who wins, but I'm pretty sure all the other Republicans are going to win. I'm not sure who I'll vote for. Like I said, I don't vote for someone just based on party, and I don't vote for someone based on their opponent being bad. If I do vote for Diamond, it will be for my own hope that she will do better than the prior and the person she's running against. So I might vote for her. I haven't made that decision yet. What I would suggest y'all do, of course, on Ballotpedia, come in here. Oh my gosh, she doesn't have anything. No website, no social media. Looks like she has a LinkedIn, 105 followers, 96 connections. Objectives to utilize medical insurance and legal terminology and knowledge coding, computer information expertise, accounting and exceptional administration, executive skills to support and develop within your company. Woo, what a sentence. All right. So experienced coach, mentor, advocate, health and wellness coach, a homeschool educator, and it looks like bookkeeping, accounting, and taxes. Includes tasks as AR, payroll, bank reconciliation. Let's see here. Financial accounting specialist. Okay, so she has a little bit of financial background, which is good because the auditor of the state should have some kind of financial background. So the fact that she has some kind of financial background and this dude does not, I will probably vote for her. All right, moving past that, auditor. We've got Public Lands Commissioner. We have Tommy Land. He's the incumbent Republican running, and Goldie Gaines is the Democrat running. Let's start with Goldie Gaines. I've met her a bunch of times. We actually, we were friends. We went out and had a beer together with my videographer, and we had a great time back, early on in the campaign, back before Natalie James joined the race. And then I guess she was friends with Natalie James, and she kind of broke ties with me. I'm not really sure what happened with all of that, but, she seemed like a decent person. I know her heart is really good. She has a gold heart. That's a great way to put it. Good person. And I know she wants to do a lot of good things for Arkansas, and she's really focused on, healing the land. That's her big thing in education. Tommy Land, he's the incumbent Republican. As a commissioner of land, there's really not much you can do, whether it's a Democrat or Republican. I personally think it's more of a nonpartisan position. I've met him a couple times as well at different events, and he's a really nice guy. And I was looking into his record. He's actually done good things for the state of Arkansas. Back when he first took office, there were like 21,000 tax negligent properties that were owned by the state, and he was able to get that number down to 6,000. So that's really good. Man, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I like Goldie Gaines because she has a gold heart. I like Tommy Land because he's good at his job. That's a tough one for me. I don't know who I'm going to vote for on that. So that is all of our statewide candidates. That was very unfiltered, very just me, how I feel, letting you get to know the candidates a little bit, some of their interactions. There are more negative interactions I didn't talk about, but I'm not going to talk about those negative interactions with those other candidates. We'll see what happens in November. But I am super psyched to vote for Chris Jones. I am really excited about that. And even Jesse Gibson. Those are my two favorite candidates this year. So the next really important thing that we need to talk about are the Arkansas ballot issues. We have 4 different issues that are going to be on our ballot. So I am going to scan through this fairly quickly because I don't want to take too much of your time. So we've got issue number 1, giving state senators and representatives authority to call special legislative sessions. Arkansas has a part-time legislative body, which means they meet for a couple months every other year. they met a lot throughout the pandemic because our governor kept calling special sessions, and they made a lot more money because our state legislators have a crap salary, but they make a lot of money in per diems. So that's why some of our Republican legislators got in trouble for fraudulently claiming per diems when they were virtually attending meetings. But one of the big issues with issue number one is what it will do is it will allow our state legislators to put themselves in session anytime. We will no longer have a part-time state legislative body. We will have full-time legislators in the state of Arkansas. And we have seen the absolute terrible legislation that has come out of the state in the last several years. And we do not want more legislation like that coming out all year long, every single year. I'm going to vote against number one. I think it's very important that we understand a little bit into it, what it is. So let's real quick... Where's issue number one? Constitutional amendment to allow the General Assembly to convene an extraordinary session upon the issuance of a joint written proclamation of the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the President pro tempore of the Senate upon the submission of written proclamation containing the signatures of at least 2/3 of the members of the House of Representatives and 2/3 of the members of the Senate and the Speaker of the House. So basically, unfortunately, let's see, a proclamation, the Speaker of the House, Republican, President pro Republican, 2/3 of the House Republican, 2/3 of the Senate Republican. So our Republicans, no joke, will make themselves full-time employees so that they can make a ton of money in the poorest state in the United States of America. One of the poorest states, Mississippi. Thank you. I know it's a terrible joke, but you know what supporters say, what opponents say. You can come into this right here. It's at uaex.uada.edu. If you actually just go to Google and if you search Arkansas ballot issues general election U of A, it'll pop right up. It's easy to find. All right. So that's issue number one. Issue number two, requiring 60% of voter approval for constitutional amendments and citizen proposed state laws. So the problem with this is we wouldn't have gotten our minimum wage increase if this was law. We wouldn't have gotten medicinal cannabis if this was law. This is honestly unconstitutional. It's already so hard to get a ballot measure on the ballot, even harder to keep Thurston from throwing it off. And then to have 60% of the constituency vote to approve it, that's tough. I don't think it should be harder for regular people like you and myself to get citizen-led laws into place on our Constitution when our legislators can do it with a simple majority of 51%. So I think that's an important issue that I'm going to vote no on as well. The Arkansas Religious Freedom Amendment, basically, they're just saying, well, we have federal protected religious rights, and now we need state-protected religious rights just in case the federal ones fail. Well, just so you know, y'all, this one was created by Rapert. We all know who Rapert is. He's the one who was like texting people like, rebuke you, witch, back to hell. Like crazy stuff like that. The dude is a lunatic. But we don't need to spend more money and more time just to add another religious freedom amendment onto our Constitution, y'all. We are in the United States of America. We are in a religiously free country. I mean, the whole reason we formed the US of A is because people were fleeing from religious persecution. I mean, we don't need this. It's unnecessary. All it's going to do is make it so that if there was a pandemic and the federal government says, hey, we're having 100,000 people die because of this, or, I mean, let's see here. That was early on. I mean, I was going to go for daily, you know, let's just say if we're having 20,000 people die per day due to COVID-20, then, you know, we need to stop having public gatherings in churches because you shouldn't pack 100 people into a small room where they can catch and spread a disease that is killing people and causing a massive worldwide pandemic. What this will do is this will prevent the federal government from intervening and being able to do something like that. It will be able to prevent the federal government from having any kind of mask mandate because they'll be like, it's against my religious, I know I said COVID-20. I meant for like a future pandemic. But yeah, so I mean, this is basically just so that people don't have to follow the social contract if something like COVID-19 happened again. All right, this is the hot button issue. Oh, by the way, I'm voting no. I don't know if I made that clear, but I'm going to vote no on 1, 2, and 3 right there so far. So the next one, our last issue to go over, is the Arkansas Adult Use Cannabis Amendment. And it's crazy just how this amendment has evolved and my thoughts on it over the last year, because we had originally I was a supporter of the True Grass Amendment of ARMA. I think that was the best route to go. And unfortunately, they were unable to get enough signatures to put it on the ballot. And the Arkansas Cannabis Cartel came together and threw millions of dollars into this issue. And they were able to get this issue on the ballot. So this is a really tough one. And here are my open thoughts on it. Originally, I supported ARMA. When ARMA didn't get the signatures, I supported this. And I supported this because times were different than today. A couple weeks ago, when President Joe Biden pardoned cannabis users for simple possession, which, I mean, I don't think that's nearly enough. We need to pardon all cannabis convictions, period. And he suggested that the Department of Justice look into rescheduling cannabis. He said it shouldn't be scheduled the same as like heroin and fentanyl. And he's right, it shouldn't. It really should be descheduled. And it shouldn't be a scheduled drug at all. We can shoot for maybe Schedule 5. I don't know. Cough syrup with codeine, cannabis. Maybe, but cough syrup with codeine is actually physically addictive. And it can kill you. But cannabis isn't addictive. And it can't kill you. So what we're really looking at right now is the implications of what happens if we pass issue number 4 and if cannabis is declassified. So let's actually scroll down to, where is issue number 4? That's on page 19. That's not page 19. Okay, here we go. It's on page 21, y'all, not page 19. Fix your table of contents. So issue number 4, oh, look at those pretty little plants. So, man, they just have so much fluff in here. So much fluff. So let's just kind of go into, let me see if they have a why and why not on here. What do supporters say? Okay, it reduces healthcare costs by removing taxes from, okay, so one of the things it does is it does remove taxes from cannabis for medicinal cannabis users. And ensures one mistake will not last a lifetime before reforming states' existing laws on possession. Extends the medical marijuana program into a new industry with 12 new craft cultivation licenses issued via lottery, which are authorized to grow up to 250 mature plants. That's one of the big problems right here. We currently have 8 cultivation licenses. Those 8 cultivators, those super rich people who have those 8 cultivation licenses, will be able to grow as much as they want, but the 12 new ones that will be given through lottery, so in other words, the 12 rich people that are able to afford and win a new license will only be able to do up to 250 mature plants. That's really good for the current Arkansas Cannabis Cartel. Okay, so that's a lot of fluff. Lose out on, oh yeah, I mean, that's all true regardless. So they're just talking about revenue. But I mean, one of the problems with the revenue is that there's a huge portion of tax that's going to go towards law enforcement. And I think that that's a problem. I think all of the revenue for cannabis should go towards healthcare and education. Opponents say it'll expand illegal drug use in our communities by authorizing the sale of use of drugs that are still 100% legal under federal law. So that could be changed. Too favorable, too potent. Oh yeah, they're talking about like edibles being too potent. Again, you can't die from cannabis if an edible is too potent. What happens? There you go. You fall asleep. Maybe you eat a lot of food first. I don't know. But, you know, some of the problems with issue 4 are that it will set into stone an amendment, a law into the Arkansas Constitution. And the only people that will be able to change this amendment are our state legislators. And we know that our state legislators are not going to change it in any way that is actually going to benefit the people of Arkansas, but only in ways that could possibly benefit themselves, their donors, or wealthy contributors that want it to be a certain way, such as the Arkansas Cannabis Cartel. Originally, I was for ARMA, and I was against issue 4. ARMA lost. I was for issue 4. And now with the possible declassification of cannabis, if we pass issue 4, then we still won't have recreational cannabis in Arkansas the same way that every other state will have. We won't have home grow. There won't be pardons, expungements of crime, anything like that. So, this is a really hot button issue. I know there are a lot of pro-cannabis people that are like, yes, and a lot of pro-cannabis people that are like, no. Personally, I'm going to vote no. Originally, like I said, before the federal government really got into declassifying cannabis, I was going to vote for it, but I don't want to tie our hands. I don't want to do something that we may regret later. So I am going to vote no on issues 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to vote no on every different issue of this year. I suggest you do, like I said, if you just go to Google and you search 2022 voter guide, Arkansas ballot issues, general, or actually all you really have to do is search Arkansas ballot issues, U of A, and it'll pop up. Do your research, read a little bit further into it. We're just running out of time, guys. So those are the issues. We've gone over the issues. We've gone over the candidates. The last thing I want to talk about is the 1776 PAC. Let's see. I think we went over all of these polls. So we can close these polls down. All right. So let's go ahead and hop back over here real quick. I think this is something that a lot of people don't understand that's going on right now. Back during the COVID-19 pandemic, which we are still in, it's definitely a lot better since more people are vaccinated, so everyone isn't dying, but the infection rate is still just as bad, and people really are still dying from this disease, or this virus, rather. Well, some parents and some people got really upset that masks were going to be required for children in schools. They didn't want to listen to scientists. They didn't want to listen to doctors. They wanted to listen to Republican GOP politicians. The only people, the only classification of people in the entire world around the whole planet Earth that were anti-mask. So these people were able to convince parents that they shouldn't have their children wear masks in school and things like that. So one of the results of that was this 1776 project and the Moms of Liberty here. They started financing a lot of candidates for school boards. And so let's see, the table below shows the candidates running for school board in each zone. This is for Benton County, by the way. I identified the candidates endorsed by the 1776 Project and Moms of Liberty, national organizations attempting to influence local elections. I provided links to the PTO forums for each zone where possible. Unable to find the videos of the Zone 3 and Zone 5 forums. Would like to share them. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so just an example. This is a candidate running, and this is a nonpartisan position, okay? It's not Democrat or Republican. Aaron Smith is a candidate, and Joel Dunning is a candidate endorsed by the 1776 Project. No. Why won't you let me open this link? All right, so this is Joel Dunning for Bentonville School Board. I actually just let him know a lot of his signs were placed illegally in right-of-way areas, and he said he would move them. Cool beans. All right. Here we go. We're going to take a brief dive into the world of Joel Dunning. Focus on basic curriculum, committed to parental rights, incorporating conservative family values, and prioritizing teachers' needs and concerns. Incorporating conservative values into our curriculum. Okay. Traditional values, Christian conservative. Liked by Donna Hutchin for Bella Vista City Council. Okay. So, Donna Hutchinson, I don't think I'm going to vote for you. um, Thank you, Moms of Liberty, School Board Forum, vote. Oh, I wish I could play the guitar. He plays the guitar. Come on, where are your views? Update on school safety. Education is important. If you are not willing to learn, no one can help you. Okay. How do we get back to basics, focus on the right stuff, and raise our test scores? Man, he got rid of, he really cleaned up his Facebook. He had a lot of he had pro-Trump stuff on there, and a back to school prayer, praying for our students for another wonderful year. So what's wrong with that? Let's see. But trying to teach conservative values as part of the curriculum. Man, there was some crazy stuff in here. Let's see. If elected to the school board, I would focus on several key issues, eliminate social promotion to make sure students truly learn, data-driven teacher pay increases, support classroom discipline, and train teachers and staff in areas of classroom management, brain-based learning, and team teaching through interdisciplinary thematic units and a CUE curriculum. Well, he definitely cleaned it up. He knew the election was coming up. He had some really extremist posts on there that are no longer there. The only thing that even says the word conservative is just this one that he left here. All right. Gail Penalto. Enjoy your weekend. Bring your teacher coffee. NAEP day. Unique talents. 1 day ago. Focus. Tax dollars. Political Action Committee dedicated elected school board members nationwide who want to reform public education by promoting patriotism and pride in American history. We are committed to abolishing critical race theory and the 1619 Project from public school curriculum. I guess I need to do this for those in the back. A little louder for those in the back. The 1619 Project is not being taught in public grade schools. Just in case you didn't know. But man, what a great divisive point that they like to keep bringing up. All right. So I think we've seen enough. But I mean, you get the point. You know, these are all the people that this PAC is supporting. I need you to do your due diligence and look at your local school board candidates. Determine whether or not they're taking corporate PAC money. You know, it's always good to know who is backing these people for school board. You know, I mean, this Dunning dude's got signs everywhere. Like, who puts thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into a school board election? It's just insane to me. Let's see here. Promoting patriotism. Report a school. Wow. Report a school promoting critical race theory. Craziness. It's all about overturning critical race theory. But, you know, like I said, just do your research because, you know, I can't go over all of your different candidates that are going to be on your unique ballot to your area. So do your due diligence, look people up. You know, going to people's Facebook pages is a great reference to what kind of person they are, what they're posting. You can even do something like, you know, just take their name and copy, and then in Facebook, hit search and go in there. And, you know, you can, you know, search right here. Oh, I'm pro-life. You know, Bentonville meeting update. You can learn a lot about a person from their Facebook page, as crazy as that is, which is why a lot of candidates lock their Facebook page and turn it private. But do your research. Know who you're voting for. Don't just click a name because their name sounds good to you or something like that. You know, do your research. That's your duty as an American citizen before you vote. All right. Well, wow, what an adventure and journey that was. It's been a long time, guys, since I have gone on and done a live stream with you. I'm I'm still so humbled by all the support that I had gotten over the last 4 years. I think, even if I didn't win my race, I know our campaign touched a lot of regular working class people that have since then decided to run for office, that are even considering to run for office. And that's what we need, especially in a state where we have 70% of Republicans running unopposed year in and year out. I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican. We have to have some kind of electoral process. We can't just have a candidate pay their filing fee and get basically buy a position. We've got to have people running against them. We've got to make sure we have elections and we have participation in the electoral process. A lot of times people will say, well, Arkansas is a red state, but it's truly not. Arkansas is a non voting state, it's a very independent state. We're ranked 50 in voter turnout, 50 in voter participation. We have 97,000 registered Democrats and 117,000 registered Republicans, but we have 1.56 million independents in our state. 70% of the Democratic Party of Arkansas, like their different party officers in their counties, aren't even registered Democrats. They're independents. We are a very independent state, and we need to make sure that we are participating in the process however we can. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, make sure they get registered to vote. I know for this election it's too late to register to vote. Make sure if they are registered to vote that they do go vote. They can vote however they want. I'll never tell someone how to vote. I'll never ask someone to vote for me. I just say that you do your duty as an American to vote. Uh, there's no greater honor, and that's why so many. That's why so many of our fathers and mothers and grandparents and brothers and sisters and children and so on have died to protect this country so that we do have the freedom to vote and to participate in the process. But you can't participate in the process if there's no candidates running. Think about running for office. It's not easy. I'll tell you. I've done it twice. It's not easy. It takes a lot. But if nobody does it, then we end up in the same position we're in now. And the only way that we're going to get into a better position to have a government that works for us, the people, and not special interests or political parties, is when regular people like you and myself show up and run for office. But regular people don't win. That is true. It's tough for regular people to win. It really is. But you know what? The more people that do it, the better the odds that someone will win, and that someone will make a small difference, and we can keep making small differences until we can have the big, much needed change that we really, truly deserve. We're the United States of America. I mean, we should be proud to be Americans, but for so long our government has just given us reasons not to be proud, and it's time we change that. We get proud again. It's time that we return our government to we the people, that we take our government back, get the corruption out. And again, we can't do that until regular people like you and I run. Just do your duty, participate in the process. I know it's a turnoff. A lot of people feel disenfranchised, but disenfranchisement is the biggest weapon against having a government that works for the people. So thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I don't know when I'll be doing another live stream. I just thought it was important to go over the different candidates, share my experiences, my thoughts, and show you guys how I research candidates so that you can research them too, to make sure that you are an educated voter, because ignorant voting is only going to hurt our state. So if you have I'm so absolutely terrible. I haven't really been had a chance to do any questions or anything like that. Oh man, do I even have anything recently? Joe, hey Joe, thank you so much for being on right now. And thank you so much. I appreciate it. I passed around True Grass, so issue 4 is really hard for me to decide on. I know, Madeline, it really is. It is a hard one. I mean, I want recreational cannabis for everybody. I don't smoke weed, but I think that it's something that should be available to people who want to. Let's see here. Tim Griffith related to Judge? I'm not sure. Yeah, and she did great in the debate. And she's now a social worker. She just finished her master's in social work, and after this election, if she doesn't win her election, she'll probably then start her duty in social work, which is really cool. Yeah, I know. We do need to get something done, Tippy. We truly do. 5 commercials in 4 minutes. Someone out there, oh my gosh, that is insane. I know there's a lot of money, a lot of money in this election. Um, and unfortunately, 86% of the time, the candidate with more money wins. So we've seen the polling. We understand what's going on with it. We can hope for the best. We can show up and do what we feel is right, but there's not a whole lot we can do about the majority of people. All we can try to do is educate them and let them know about the candidates they're voting for, about the issues that are at hand. I mean, women's autonomy is, it's on the ballot when it comes up to vote in the Senate. Whether or not it passes is going to be up to our senators. And I haven't really been happy with a lot of the Democrats that are running on the platform of vote for me to save your women's rights and things like that, because there's just not enough seats that are up in the air right now to give the Democrats a majority over 60. So if they don't have a majority, then they can't codify Roe anyways. It doesn't even matter. They're just dog whistling and trying to raise money off of it. And I think that that's really sad, but that's just what a lot of candidates are doing. Now it would be a different story if we didn't have the filibuster in the way, and it only took a 51 simple majority votes to codify road. But it's just unfortunately there aren't enough seats, like I said, that are up in the air that the Democrats could win that majority. All right, guys. I'm gonna hop off. It's already 8:30. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time with my daughter. It's Friday night before we head to bed, and maybe watch a little bit of Netflix. We just finished The Watcher. Wow, what a cool show! You should check out The Watcher on Netflix. No, I'm not a sponsor, and they're not paying me to say that, but it is a crazy show based on true story. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. Again, thank you so much for your continued support. Let's go ahead with my good old may God bless you all, and may God bless America, and I will see you guys next time.